Howdy everyone, it's Sam. Welcome to the Wobble Enjoy Sports channel. If you're new around here, hope I can get you to consider liking the content and subscribing to the channel. But if you are a regular around these here parts, thank you very much for the continuous support. This Thursday in about 48 hours time, the under-19's State of Origin doubleheader commences from KO Stadium up there in Redcliffe. The women's State of Origin, the men's State of Origin in the under-19s kicks off. I'm really looking forward to seeing how these young players try to take the spotlight and take an inch and go a mile with it. This is a massive opportunity for all players that are going to lace up their boots this Thursday. And I've had a real good squiz at all four teams, and I can tell you right now who the most represented NRL club is going to be this Thursday. Smashing it out of the park, being the most represented NRL club this Thursday are the North Queensland Cowboys with 11 spread across all four teams. Then the next up, the Newcastle Knights with 7, the Roosters and the Titans with 6, Brisbane, Canberra, Penrith with 5, Parramatta and Melbourne with 4, the West Tigers and the Dolphins with 3, the Dragons, Sea Eagles with 2, and Cronulla Sutherland Sharks and the South Sydney Rabbitohs both with just the one representative spread across both games this Thursday. So it does not surprise me, it shouldn't surprise anyone, that the only club left out of that are the New Zealand Warriors. Since 2021, the under-19s has been broadcasted. Well, it's been a real thing since 2021. And while the men's event had to be cancelled that year, the females did in fact play. So since 2021, New South Wales women's side have defeated Queensland twice. They are undefeated against the Queensland Maroons. So Queenslanders are hoping to rectify that this Thursday. And then last year, the New South Wales under-19s men's side in State of Origin defeated Queensland rather convincingly as well. So 3-0 between the men and the women. And so hopefully this Thursday night, Queensland can pick up at least one victory. I swear I sit on the fence with State of Origin, even though I come across as like Queensland bias. I swear I sit on the fence on State of Origin. I don't think I'm going to provide my tip for any of these games. This is more just me going through the teams and just picking a couple of players or a few players from each squad and just highlighting them in some of their strengths and then maybe the weaknesses as well for the opposing side as well. So starting with the home side, the Queensland under-19s State of Origin team. Oh, and by the way, this is the first time I'm giving these names a crack, so please forgive me if I absolutely butcher them. So without further ado, again, let's get into Queensland's team. In the fullback position, Destiny Mino Senapati. She has been playing for the Wynnum Manly Seagulls, and the Wynnum Manly Seagulls in the BMD Premiership this year played in the grand final but were the runners-up. And Destiny Mino Senapati is linked with the Gold Coast Titans. Sienna Lang, she played for the Burleigh Bears in the Queensland Cup this year, and she was a try scorer in Burleigh Bears' grand final victory just a couple of months ago. In the centres, Libby Surha, she played for the Mackay Cutters who went to the finals, and she is on a development contract with the North Queensland Cowboys. Also, she is an Australian Prime Minister's 13 representative, and she also took out the Rookie of the Year this season. The other centre, Skylar Adams. She's coming from the New South Wales Rugby League competition. She represented the Indigenous Roosters Tasha Gale Cup side who took out the competition this year, and she has been linked with the Brisbane Broncos. And the other winger for Queensland is Ebony Raffstrand Smith. She's been doing her thing for the Tasha Gale Cup Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs, who were the runners-up in the grand final. She is contracted with the North Queensland Cowboys. She was also an Australian schoolgirl last year in the inaugural Australian schoolgirls side. The halves, Shante Kiriaratu and Sienna Lafipo. Kiriaratu has had a wonderful season with the South Logan Magpies. She is a Gold Coast Titan. She did play in the under-19s last season, and she also represented the Cook Islands in the Rugby League World Cup last year. Massive, massive spotlight on her this Thursday. And Sienna Lafipo, also a runner-up in the grand final this year in the Queensland Cup, and she too is also with the Gold Coast Titans. The forward pack, Shaylee Joseph, Lily Rose Colch, and Jacinta Carter. Shaylee Joseph, the younger sister of Keely Joseph. Keely Joseph was the prop who debuted in game number 1 this year in the Women's State of Origin, and she took out the woman of the match. So that's she's got some good DNA, and thank goodness for that, because Shaylee Joseph, while she's been doing her thing at the Central Coast Roosters, North Queensland Cowboys have picked her up in 2023. Lily Rose Colch, also a Burleigh Bears Queensland Cup champion. She also played in the under-19s last year, and she is linked with the Gold Coast Titans for 2023 in the NRLW squad. And Jacinta Carter is linked with the Newcastle Knights and also played the under-19s game last year. In the back row, Riley Jorgensen, Malayla Sua. There has been a late scratching. The lock that was named yesterday and it's changed overnight, Tavana Papali'i, has been scratched, and the new lock for the Queensland Under-19s women's team is Matakino Kahu Koti Gray. Riley Jorgensen, another Burleigh Bears champion, linked with the Gold Coast Titans. Malayla Sua is the only Brisbane Tiger who's been doing her thing in the Queensland Cup. She is an Australian schoolgirl from 2022, and she's linked with the Gold Coast Titans. And then the bench for Queensland, Emily Bella, played for the Mackay Cutters, linked up with the North Queensland Cowboys. I'm a massive fan of her work. I think she did some really slick things in the 5/8 position, especially early on in the 2023 campaign. Jersey number 15, Alyssa McCarthy, winner Manly Seagulls, runner-up in the 2023 Queensland Cup or BMD Premiership Grand Final. She's linked with the Broncos. 16, Lily Peacock, Mackay Cutters, North Queensland Cowboys, absolutely ripped and teared whenever she got onto the field. Jersey 17, Delaney Claridge, Central Queensland Capras representative. And in Jersey 18, Helen Yui Tuolangi, she was an under-19s Queensland representative, and she is a part of the winner Manly Seagulls squad. And in jersey number 19, Prue Peters, who played in the Queensland Cup grand final for the winner Manly Seagulls. Yes, this has got to be a little bit more Cowboys flavoured than other previews that might be put out there for the under-19 State of Origin games, but I've got to talk about Libby Surha. She is a deceptively quick young woman, an impressive player that was really important for the Mackay Cutters in 2023. She is a massive prospect. I really hope that not only she continues to blossom, but that we also impress upon her that we really want to keep her for the foreseeable future. She is a development under a development contract with the North Queensland Cowboys, but if she gets the chance with a bit of space, you watch her just go from 0 to 100. She's got a powerful fend on her as well, and I think she's got a bit of a flick pass on her too, if memory serves me correctly. Destiny Mino Sinapati, the fullback for Queensland, she is a player that I've heard a fair bit about, and a lot of these players I've never seen play before, and that's why I really want to promote this game and give you my opinion on who I'm going to be watching with me binoculars this Thursday night from KO Stadium, because your boy will be in attendance. So Destiny Mino Sinapati really intrigues me. I really can't wait to see how she goes. Again, the 5'8", Shante Kirioratu, heard plenty of good things, and ever since I've seen her play and seeing her just bring her presence to the Cook Islands in the Rugby League World Cup last year. Really, really good player to keep your eye on. Riley Jorgensen, man, she is another player that, she wears the old headgear, so she's not too hard to miss. But she's a prodigy. She's been spoken about since 2020, maybe before that, but she's been spoken about for a really, really long time. And I've seen her play a couple of games, but this is going to be my first opportunity where I'm going to really zone in on her game this weekend. And my mate Paddy G, a YouTube content creator for rugby league, he was working. He was doing some things with a certain club, and actually met the winger for Queensland, or one of the wingers for Queensland, Ebony Rafstrand Smith, and she's been doing her thing with the Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs, and he just said, "Mate, you got a good one." She's absolutely enormous, but she is quick as lightning. Like, she is the next big thing in the women's rugby league world. So, Ebony Rafstrand Smith, come on down and take your opportunity this Thursday. So, that is the Queensland side. Let's get into the New South Wales under-19s women's side. At fullback, Sienna Williams, North Sydney Bears representative who can play at 5'8" or halfback. The wingers, Grace Lee Weeks, no affiliation to KO Weeks of Manly. She is a North Sydney Bears representative who will be with the Cronulla Sutherland Sharks in 2023. And Georgia Willie, she is one of the players that I will highlight momentarily, and she is signed up with the Canberra Raiders. The centres for New South Wales, Latia Fusi from Canterbury and Lindsay Tui, Parramatta. The halves pairing for New South Wales, Brooke Talatana and Evie Jones. Talatana, an Indigenous Roosters Tasha Gale Cup winning 5'8", and she has been snatched up by the Wests Tigers. And Evie Jones, Newcastle Knights, and one of last year's inaugural Australian schoolgirls. The forward pack, Kalo Sapani Hopewadi, North Sydney Bears, linked up with the Sydney Roosters. Chelsea Makira, Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs. Letitia Smythe in jersey 10, also Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs. The back row, Chloe Jackson, Mona Lisa Soliola, and Losana Lutu. Chloe Jackson, North Sydney Bears, but has been linked with Parramatta for the NRLW season. Mona Lisa Soliola, Canberra, and Lutu, West Tigers. Then the interchange is Leah Ollerton, Newcastle Knights. Jersey 15, Mercedes Fa'ayatieti Metcalf. She is linked with the Cronulla Sutherland Sharks. Jersey 16, Marley Cardwell, Penrith. 17, Kate Fallon, South Sydney Rabbitohs. 18, Charlotte Barwick, Newcastle Knights. And number 19, Ali Bullyman. The coach, Kate Mullally. And the Queensland coach, while I'm at it, is Deanna Turner. All right, so first of all, make the change with jersey number 17 to come onto the paddock. Kate Fallon, the only South Sydney Rabbitohs representative. She was the captain of the South Sydney Rabbitohs as well in the Tasha Gale Cup, and she is a 3-time Australian amateur boxing national champion. Get her onto the paddock, bro, and just let the fireworks go. I need to see this woman play with that sort of resume to her name for sure, bro. Now, going into Georgia Willie for the Canberra Raiders, she has been the captain of the New South Wales under-18s team in 2022. She's also a captain, I believe. If not, she is definitely one of the leaders of the Tasha Gale Cup Canberra Raiders squad as well. A 2022 schoolgirl, and she is obviously a Canberra Raider in the NRLW squad and will potentially highly likely to make her debut sometime in the very, very, very near future. Kate Mullally is the New South Wales assistant coach in the women's in the adult elite women's division, and then Deanna Turner, she has represented Australia, Queensland, played in the Indigenous All Stars as well. So that is both sides ticked off. Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs, Brisbane Knights. So the most represented NRL club in this women's fixture are the Gold Coast Titans with 6. Let's get into the men's State of Origin side now. Starting with the Queensland side first, at fullback, Matua Brown, North Queensland Cowboys, and an Australian schoolboy this year. The only Australian schoolboy who is playing in this men's fixture. The wingers, Israel Leota, Brisbane Broncos, and Timothy Silaf with the Penrith Panthers. The centres, Caleb Jackson, the Dolphins, and Mitchell Jennings, the first of 4 Melbourne Storm Academy players. The halves pairing, Stanley Hewen from the Storm, and number 7, Zach Lamont for the Townsville Blackhawks, linked with the North Queensland Cowboys. The front row, Ryan Jackson, Dolphins, Blake Moser, the Brisbane Broncos, and number 10, Benjamin Takura, the Brisbane Broncos. And both of those gentlemen, Moser and Takura, both played in the under-19s game last year. The back row, Angus Hinchy, Storm, 12, Will Sullivan, North Queensland Blackhawks. The lock, Damon Marshall, Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs, but he played his footy as a Townsville Blackhawks, so he's actually from North Queensland Cowboys, but he has been doing his thing for the Bulldogs over the past 12 months or so. The interchange, Gabriel Satrick, the Storm, 15, Chris Fa'agutu, West Tigers, Michael Wanga, Dolphins, and number 17, Jamal Shibasaki for the Townsville Blackhawks, 18, Mason Kira, North Queensland, and number 19, Kai Simon from Mackay Cutters, with the North Queensland Cowboys being the club that he is linked to, and the head coach is Matt Ballin. New South Wales squad now, and number 1 at fullback, Chevy Stewart, the Canberra Raiders. The wingers, Savelio Tamale, St. George Illawarra Dragons, and Ethan Ferguson. Was a Newcastle Knight at the start of the year, but is now a South Sydney Rabbitoh, or it's been reversed. It's one of the two. And then the centres, Ethan Strange, Canberra Raiders, Josh Felaherty, the Wests Tigers. The halves, Latu Fainu, the Manly Sea Eagles, and Ethan Sanders, Parramatta. And Latu Fainu easily, in my opinion, it has the highest profile, the hottest spotlight on any of the players coming into this Thursday night's doubleheader. The front row, Jake Clydesdale, the Raiders. At hooker, Billy Scott from Penrith. Samuela Fainu from Manly. He made his first grade debut this year and has played a handful of contests for the Sea Eagles. Then the back row, Charlie Goima, Harrison Hassett for Penrith, Miles Martin for the Newcastle Knights, and Charlie Goima played for the Parramatta Eels. The interchange, Joas Papali'i, Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs, jersey 15, Nicholas Tugrani, St. George Illawarra Dragons, Sam Tuavati, Parramatta, jersey 17, Luron Patia, Penrith, 18, Kyle McCarthy, Newcastle, jersey 19, Jermaine McEwen, Newcastle Knights, and the head coach is Andrew Ryan. In the Queensland men's side, it's easily the North Queensland Cowboys, who is the most represented club in that team with 6 altogether. And then in the New South Wales men's side, Newcastle, Canberra, Penrith, and Parramatta all equal on top with 3 representatives. Latu Fainu, a lot has been made about this bloke, and he's a gentleman that I've never seen play before, and now I get to see him play in person. So that is a real treat. And who knows where he's going to go? The most recent report is that the Dolphins have actually become the favourites to pick up Fainu. But I think he's well in calculation still to be a part of the West's Tigers. Chevy Stewart, Mr. Rugby League Guru, has made a mention of him as well. And it's really interesting. It really is interesting that he is the New South Wales Cup fullback in preference for Xavier Savage, who is still doing his thing on the wing. Ethan Sanders, the halfback for the New South Wales team, the SG Ball Man of the Match Grand Final, or the SG Ball Grand Final Man of the Match, and the Parramatta Eels won the SG Ball Grand Final back in April, I think it was. And then we've got a story about Joash Papali'i. He was meant to play SG Ball for the Bulldogs this season, but such was his preseason, he's leaped immediately from SG Ball to go straight into the New South Wales Cup, Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs system, and I think he's played over 10 games of New South Wales Cup. So this is a fella who can play pretty much anywhere in the back line from what I understand. And so this is a fella that I really cannot wait to see have a crack this Thursday night. And then going to the Queensland side, just to highlight a couple of fellas. Zach Lamont, the halfback, I've seen him play in person once, and that was against the Norths Devils up at Bishop Park. And they dominated. They absolutely dominated the Norths Devils on that occasion. And yeah, I really liked what I saw, and I cannot wait to see how he goes in this game. Jamal Shibasaki as well. I heard a couple of really cool things on Twitter with a couple of Cowboys fans, and they said, watch out for Jamal. And for sure, I think he came off the bench, but in any event, what I remember of that game against the North Devils in that contest, he absolutely came on and made a huge impact, a massive difference. The fullback, Matua Brown, is a rugby union convert. There's actually a couple of rugby union converts spread across both of these games. And unfortunately, it's a bad loss for Union. This guy, Matua Brown, is going to develop into something special by all reports as well. That's the team list for both of these games this Thursday night. Really looking forward to the young talent getting onto the grass and doing what they do best. And thank you very much for sticking with me. And I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope you enjoy the footy this weekend. Take care. Adios.